Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of our 2021 edition of the PH Journals podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been an incredible ride so far to the start of the season. I apologize that I missed last week's Sunday discussion due to technical difficulties, as you guys would have picked up in the first episode. But that seems to all have been sorted out now, and everything seems to be a little bit more plain sailing. It's been an incredible start to the season, and I can't wait to share some of the stories with you guys. But first, before we get into it, I have to mention a very special couple of people and, of course, sponsors. First off, I'm going to kick it off with Treason Camo. Guys, I've been using, in this scorching heat, it's a wonderful 34 degrees at the moment. As you can see, I've got the early season camo range on. It's been unbelievable. Really, really lightweight, super smooth to use in the bush. It's really, really hardy. I mean, those of you guys that have hunted here in South Africa would know our acacia bushes are deadly. And it holds up to the task, and it's really awesome to hunt in, really nice and lightweight. So been super impressed, and just can't wait to have the rest of the season with them. Next up will be Splitting Image Taxidermy. There's only one real taxidermy that I believe in, and Splitting Image is them, and the guys that take real heart to your work and the communication, which has always been key as far as a professional hunting side goes. I've always said your job as a professional hunter is not done until that animal is up on your wall, and Splitting Image just takes the stress off of that, just takes and relieves everything. So really, really super stoked about Splitting Image Taxidermy. Next up, Maxxis tires. I'm using the Maxxis Razors MT version, the mining application. They're fantastic, really. I've been using them now for almost 2 seasons, and actually I did a bit of maintenance on the vehicle the other day, and I still see that I've got quite a bit of mileage still to do on them. So I'm really, really chuffed with them, and they'll definitely hold out one more season, and then I might have to trade them in. And then last but not least, my very own e-commerce platform, PH Toolbox. We're striving to create a platform for professional hunters to earn a little bit of extra income through our affiliate marketing program. It's working tremendously so far. We've got some really cool gadgets on there and some really cool items that will help anyone out in the bush. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Well, without further ado, let's get into the next episode. How's it, guys, and welcome to the second episode of the PH Journals podcast. Like I mentioned earlier, unfortunately I didn't make it last week due to some technical difficulties, but they seem to have been ironed out now when we're ready for action. I've been very blessed, and those of you that have been following my PH Journals podcast story over the past couple of months would see that the scenery behind me has changed dramatically. And that's due that I'll be joining the Hunters Hill Safari team on a full-time basis from the 1st of March. I'm pretty stoked to be a part of the team, and I've been doing a lot of my hunting here since I was a little kid. So to be a part of the team now is truly a dream come true, and just look forward to taking them forward now in 2021, some of this most incredible time of the year. Like I mentioned, we've actually got a couple of storm clouds brewing now. It's been scorching hot over the past couple of days, but we've been very, very blessed with a lot of rain. So although this is going to be very, very welcomed at the moment, just to bring the heat down, the water would also be truly remarkable to have even more than what we've already had. So been very blessed, and a very, very special time of the year. So guys, basically on episode 2, I'm hoping not to be a long one. It might be a little bit repetitive from the last time, but I thought it was necessary to do because myself and my very good mate Patrick Dugan, we joined forces on the very first episode of this year, and we touched base on a few important topics as far as travel and travel restrictions in and out of South Africa are concerned. Well, a lot has changed since then. Biden coming into office, our very own president, lifting and implementing lockdown regulations and then changing them, and it's been a whirlwind of mixed emotions. And I've done a bit of research, and I thought it would only be fair to share as much as what I know with you guys, making it easier for you guys to come over. Like I said, there's so much uncertainty, so for me to be 100% correct might not be on point, but truly I've been blessed with, over the past couple of weeks, with my social media platforms, with guys engaging and different discussions happening, that we've sort of come to not agreement, but we've sort of understand where this whole thing needs to be in as far as travel restrictions, how you guys will be able to get over here and leave our country. Well, I'm going to start off by saying that, of course, you guys need a 72-hour negative COVID test, which is extremely important. And a lot of guys have asked me, how is a COVID testing procedure in our local area over here? It's pretty simple and it's pretty cool. So basically what we can do is we can arrange a COVID test past 6 o'clock at night. So therefore you're not losing any time during the day, whether you want to go on a safari, a photographic safari park, or wherever, anything like that. You will not lose any daylight. However, there are guys that opt to do it as close to the time as possible, because our COVID tests, so if you get tested very early in the morning, it will be on the shipment out at 10 o'clock. Therefore, you'll get your results back the following morning at 10 o'clock. So if your flight out of South Africa is at past 10, you would be able to get your results within 24 hours of your departure time. So planning that is extremely important, but it is hassle-free. It really isn't a schlep, and it really isn't a pain in the ass. It's very, very simple. Just go into town. We've been very fortunate that we always plan it, that we're one of the first ones there to the testing stations, and within, I think the longest we've waited now out of all our groups has probably been an hour. Hour there, hour in and out, and we've come back and we've still managed to fit in quite a bit of hunting. So it's really been easy and extremely painless. Those sort of things can go two ways. It can really go your way, or it can really go completely pear-shaped. So we've been very, very fortunate with our setup, and I think we've done it a couple of times now to really just to have nailed it, to have got it down to a fine tune, just the perfect timing. So that's how it works as far as COVID testing goes within South Africa. Getting onto the flight restrictions and stuff, and this is where it gets a little bit more complicated as far as what Biden mentioned the other day. So he came out with restrictions that South African citizens weren't allowed to go back to the USA unless for, of course, obvious reasons like business, residence, or whatever. But it still means that the American people can still come back. Now, I've seen in the past couple of weeks that the European countries have implemented much of the same restrictions as far as the United States have, but it still means that they can come over here. Unless they go into another hard lockdown or border lockdown, they can still come over here and enjoy the fruits of this magnificent country now in 2021. So basically, where it gets tricky is because there's no direct flights into South Africa, where you're connecting flights and what are your options? Well, if you're coming from the United States, there's one of three options, and that is Amsterdam, Paris, and now we just heard over the past couple of days, and I've done a bit of research on it, because they're flying from Washington, D.C. into Ethiopia and then into OO Tambo. So there will always be a connecting flight that you would need to take. But yeah, really, you're still looking at probably worst case scenario, 30-hour trip, round trip to get here. And It does. When you say it like that, it sounds extremely frustrating and daunting. But let me tell you something. It's well worth it. I will. I'll probably. I'll probably shoot myself in the foot for saying this, but it will be a very, very long time before we get conditions as good as this, and it would be a shame for as many people not to come out and enjoy it. And again, guys, I'm not just saying that to try and convince people to come over here as much as, well, I am trying to convince you, but I'm not trying to sell you on anything. No matter where you go in South Africa, no matter who you go to, I'm almost guaranteeing you that you're going to have an extraordinary time. And those people that have been here over the last couple of years and have seen our conditions then to see it now, man, it's life changing. It really, really is. So guys, where this whole traveling thing gets really, really sticky is if you are planning to bring over your own firearms. There's a lot of paperwork that entails through Paris and France. Unfortunately, I don't have the paperwork required for Ethiopia, but Paris and France, there is quite an extensive bit of paperwork that you would need to apply for before you leave, and you would need to have on hand when you arrive in Paris and Amsterdam to come back over. This is extremely important because this is where the whole delay could happen. So if you are planning to bring over your own firearms, do a lot of research, get in contact with your outfitter, and get them to help you as much as possible. There are firearm agencies out there that can help you with this hassle-free issue, and really get it down to a point. I don't know too many of them, and I haven't done my research, so I'm not going to mention that to you. But if you would like to know a couple of agencies that we personally use, feel free to hit me up on any one of the social media platforms, and I'll be happy to share their details with you guys. Other than that, guys, like Pat said in the very first episode, if you are planning to come over here and you're not planning to come over and shoot big game or anything like that, and you wouldn't mind using the lodge rifles, do your homework, have a look, see if the lodges have rifles available for you, because I know in the States at the moment, as we speak, ammo is a huge issue, and then of course with the flying with your rifles becomes a massive headache. So do your homework. If your lodge does provide you with rifles, that's the way to go. We have been fortunate as far as the Eastern Cape's concerned. FlySafe have agreed to fly with firearms into the Eastern Cape, so we're not held up anymore. I think a couple of podcasts ago I mentioned that was a huge setback as far as Eastern Cape hunting is concerned. But that seems to be ironed out now, and a lot of the guys would be able to come over and use their very own firearms. But those of you that are coming over in the next 2 to 3 months, I would highly suggest rather do a little bit of research, rather check up on your outfitter if they not have any rifles available for you. It's worth it in the end. Just getting over here is just going to be a lot easier, and trust me, once you're here, it's going to be something special. But yeah, guys, so we've had an incredible start to the season, and I really am looking forward to 2021. This is a much shorter podcast that I've got, but I just felt that I try to answer as many questions as possible in such a short space of time, because once guys start coming over here, then the real business actually starts. So yeah, we've been very fortunate with what we've got and what we've had. We've had myself, I've had 2 incredible hunts, one 15 days and a 1 5-day hunt. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season, and yeah, I just can't wait to share it with you guys. Well, guys, as far as episode 2 goes, that is it. That is a wrap. When I thought about doing this podcast, I had a couple of things lined up, but I really thought that ironing out the importance of coming over and trying to help you guys wherever possible, as far as travel arrangements are concerned, get it out of the way, because I know there's going to be a lot of questions around it, and not all of us are going to get it 100% correct. all the time. There's a lot of uncertainty out there, and I would encourage a lot of people to do their homework and just understand that from our side, most of the things are up in the air, and we're still trying to learn as much as possible, as quickly as possible. It's very, very frustrating times, and I'm sure most of you guys would just really like to ultimately just get out here, but a lot of you guys are scared and are worried about the uncertain facts, and it's completely understandable. But I can rest assure you, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, once you guys get out here, it's a whole new ball game. It's completely different to what we've experienced in the past, and I can't wait, and I'm pretty sure there's so many of us out there that can't wait to share what we've got with you guys. And for the first timers, you're going to be blown away, and I promise you now, you're going to be wanting to come back. And for the guys that have been here for so many times, it's just going to give you another reason to come back yet again. So guys, for myself, Dylan Love, and the whole PH Journals crew, I'm going to be ticking out now. I'm going to go and enjoy this wonderful thunderstorm on this beautiful Sunday, and we'll catch up with you guys later. But until then, stay safe, stay blessed, stay humble, and we'll see you guys. Cheers for now.